first Mills Motion live marketing strategy consulting call. I'm actually just going to click go live on Instagram as well, hopefully. Oh, no, it's not working. That's right. That button's not working. So this, this stream is all about doing real-time live marketing consulting with Tis on his photography and how he can grow it. So basically the outcome at the end of this will be 2 to 3 next steps for his marketing to help him grow his business. So we're going to dive in together into what it is that he does. And so the first section will just be really understanding his business, how he currently gets clients, and then me looking for and get more clients coming in and giving those action steps at the end. So that will be the process today, and it's just live and going through it. So thank you so much for joining us, Tis. And I think just start by introducing yourself and your business would be great.
Sure. So I'm Tis, and I'm a photographer. So I've been a photographer for 10 years or so. I graduated from university with a bachelor's degree in photography in 2019 is when I graduated. And then I spent my first 5 years, I guess, as a professional photographer working for a local digital marketing company doing kind of social media and websites and working for someone else. And then I left there and went on a big road trip with my family. So I took 12 months off. And then when I came back, I kind of jumped into freelancing. So me and my wife kind of switched roles. She went to the full-time work, and I am kind of a part-time stay-at-home parent, and then working on my freelancing as well. So it's been about a year and a half now since I've been freelancing. My kind of main focuses or my areas of photography are family portraiture, a bit of weddings here and there, sports kind of in a lot of ways my biggest passion with photography. That's kind of where I want to grow more and get more work in. Then there's a bit of kind of commercial stuff. I do a bit of work with local businesses, particularly at the moment, quite a few builders, and helping them with their social media or creating photos and video content for their social medias. And then kind of hear bits and pieces everywhere else for whatever kind of work comes my way. Really, there's not much that I say no to.
That's awesome. So what has the revenue been so far with the freelancing in the business, like total?
So last year I made 55,000 before tax, and before I think that was after expenses. I think it was $40,000 in profit. And obviously the goal is to grow that to a point where my wife can, have a bit more financial freedom in what her next step is in her career, particularly with our eldest son going to school next year. So she'd like to, change her structure of her work. So if I can increase my income and get it to the point where kind of I'm back to being the main earner, then she's got a bit more freedom to choose what she wants to do.
Yeah, awesome. What would that goal be?
Probably anything. I probably have to look at a profit rise rather than total income. A profit of rather than peak revenue. A profit of anything above, I think 80,000 would be quite comfortable. Obviously, the more the better, but as kind of a base rate,
where we're aiming for is good. What way into hours and capacity, if that makes sense? So of the where you made the 40,000 profit last year, did you have extra time that you could have been filling if you had extra clients, or was it more that was booked out and I'm trying to establish, like, are you needing to be busy, or is it more just needing more people coming in?
It's a bit of both. There were definitely times of the year where I was pretty flat chat, and then other times where it's very quiet. Like looking at my kind of revenue over the year, July and January, they were definitely my two quietest months. but of course, at the end of the day, it's a bit of a balance between looking after my kids and home life. So I feel like there was a good chunk of last year where I was kind of, in a way, at my capacity. I was able to kind of keep up with the work that I had, but I didn't really have much time to put into kind of marketing or pushing, for more work kind of thing. But, that's also, I guess for me and my family, we're kind of at in a little ways, a bit of a tricky transition position where, as I get busier, it's not like my wife can drop down her full-time work. So a bit of it's just going to be, slogging it out, doing the hard yards to, get it to the point where my income is more consistent. And then we can go, okay, cool. Now we've hit that base and we can, reshuffle life.
And I think that's very common with small businesses, that it's you get into the phase of, oh no, I'm quiet, I've got to get business, and then you're busy, so you're like, oh, I've got to do the business, and then all of a sudden you're quiet again because you stopped getting the business. So I'm a big fan of trying to figure out ways so that it is just happening, so that you can get out of that phase of the quiet and busy again. But it's very helpful also knowing the sort of those specific quiet times. Do you have any inclination on why Jan and July? Well, January I would expect it's sort of quiet after Christmas, but is there anything from your perspective around why those would be quiet, other than just you weren't actively filling the pipeline at that point?
It is a little bit kind of seasonal. Obviously, July, you're very rarely going to get a wedding kind of thing in July, or anywhere in winter, really. Same with family photography. Most people want, sunshine and to be outside, running around with the kids kind of thing. So I feel like in that kind of thing, people are less thinking about, family photography. And maybe it's also a little bit to do with, kind of end of financial year, people are trying to, maybe not spend too much in that first month of the year or the financial year or whatever. January, I remember when I was working for the digital marketing company, January was always the quietest month, there as well. Their inquiries always dropped off in Jan. So, I'm sure a bit of it's also just the, natural.
Okay, so in terms of your capacity for the actual photo shoots, time-wise in the week, I know you said Fridays is usually dedicated business day. How many photo shoots would you be able to do in a week at max capacity with what you're currently working on?
That's a good question. I could definitely do more. It's often the fitting in the editing, which is what I usually end up doing at 10 o'clock at night once the kids are asleep. But I can definitely fit in more. Currently, I'm also doing a day a week working for an auto electrician, which I've kind of been doing for the whole year, just as a little. He was a good friend. He'd helped me on a previous project. So when I came back from the road trip and needed some money, he was quick, easy to be like, hey, can I work a day a week for you? He's super flexible. So the kind of plan at the moment is come September, I think, or kind of end of winter, I'm planning to kind of drop that day or reduce it to some capacity anyway, so that I have a second day, to dedicate to my business a bit more. So I could definitely be taking on, I'd say my busy weeks at the moment, I probably have 3 or 4 shoots on, and I reckon I could probably quite comfortably double that, depending on the type of shoot, of course. But if that answers that question in a very long way.
What type of week that?
like ideally, I think if I had kind of 2 or 3 full days of shooting, that would be, whether that's spread out over the week or not, that would probably be pretty good. And then obviously I just have to fit in editing and everything else around that. But yeah, I think if I could get to the point where, I have time-wise, 2 or 3 full days a week of shooting time, that would be pretty cool.
Awesome. So the reason, and how many weeks of the year would you be aiming to actually be working? Like, what would be your? Because I know you like going off in the combi and things like that. Like, what would be your target in terms of? Is it 2 weeks off a year, 4 weeks off a year? I'm just doing the math, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to work back. Yeah.
Oh, that's not really a question I thought I really considered. Probably, I mean, if I could have 4 weeks off a year, that would be great.
Yeah. Awesome. So, so then 3 days. You've got 144 days of photography. Is 3 times 48 weeks. And then in terms of the 80,000 profit divided by 144 days, so you'd need to be making 555 profit for each day of shooting. Would be that how I'm? Does that make sense? How I'm working that math?
Yeah.
That would have been a good opportunity to use my this way. I'll bring up the sorry, I've got a thing here. Here we go. Show on screen. Where are we? Let's see. There we go. So basically what I'm looking at is if you've got the 2 to 3 days of shooting, like 48 weeks, then you're looking at 144 days. And that's a year.
Yeah.
And so then, dividing that 80,000 divided by 144. So you're looking at 555 of profit, which is revenue. So we definitely would need it to be higher than that.
Yep.
Making sure that whatever rate you're charging would need to be in there, and that's what where I'm getting all that. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. So more questions. Of so let's go through the different types. You are multi-passionate.
Yeah.
So let's just go through each one at a time, I think. So we'll start with the families. So talk me through the different types of family shoots.
So currently I offer, I think, 2 packages. I've got a small half-hour package that's, I think, $250. And then I have the larger 1 hour to 1.5 hour package. That's $500. That's definitely an area where I could, I could definitely get more of them. I'm probably doing, maybe 1 or 2 a month, depending on the month.
Yeah.
But in saying that, that's in a lot of ways kind of a hard area to market, because I feel like particularly in the mass ranges where we live, it's pretty saturated. There's lots of family photographers, particularly, quite a few family photographers doing similar, I shoot in a documentary style. There's, plenty of very good photographers doing that same kind of thing. I'm definitely better on price than probably all of them. But yeah, so that's kind of a $250 package or a $500 package, which for me, both those prices are, I'm quite comfortable with those prices. To me, that's good kind of time to money margin, in terms of, time spent shooting and then editing. Yeah.
Awesome. So I definitely do want to dive into that. I think what I'll do is I'll get all the info for each one and then probably dive into it, I think. Because I have experience with this. So for obviously people watching, that is how I met Tees. I put into the community family photo shoot. We're looking for natural style. And that is how I found Tees. I have a bunch of people recommending it and stuff. So I definitely think there's huge opportunity for you there if it's something that you want to do more of. But I think, I just want to get the overview of the different types of photography you're doing first, and then we'll sort of dive in on each one.
Yep.
So what about how do you approach those? What are your packages and how many are you doing at the moment?
I missed that. What was that?
For weddings. So if you go through weddings, how often are you doing them? Do you have specific packages that you're offering?
So weddings are a bit of a different one for me. So I have a deal with Mount Masson Winery where I am one of 2 premium photographers as part of the premium photography package. So currently I think I've got, I don't know, 8 to 10 weddings booked across probably this financial year and going into the end of 2027. And to be honest, that probably suits me quite well. I've kind of, because of that, I haven't really pushed weddings too hard on my own platform. In saying that, because of the deal with Mount Masson Winery, I don't make as much money from the wedding as if it was booked privately. But, with only doing 8 or so a year, that's kind of, it's fine. Weddings is not necessarily somewhere I want to grow much more than that. I mean, it'd be nice to get a few more private bookings so that I make, more money off them. But I love shooting a wedding. It is always really, really fun, but it is always a lot of work. And I'd rather be. No, I don't find it stressful. There's always a bit of a bit of stress, but I feel like once I've kind of gotten into the day and I've kind of ticked off a few shots in my mind, and I'm like, okay, cool, I know I've got some good shots, or some good moments have happened in front of me, then it's I can relax a bit more. But again, I shoot weddings in a very documentary, candid way, so there's kind of not a huge amount of directioning from me. It's shooting what's happening. Weddings, I think with Mount Masson Winery, I make, I don't know if I really meant to say that, but I make 2,300.
That's fine. You don't have to. If you don't want to share, you don't have to. That's fine. Yeah. Specifically, if there's like specific deals that you've got, that's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, but so you said you don't necessarily want to grow that, but private, or is it just more the other areas you'd be more passionate in growing out?
Yeah, I think so. At the moment, weddings they're kind of a nice boost to my income, every month. And the weddings are nice in the sense of like, they get booked so far in advance. So, coming into this financial year compared to last financial year when I was just starting, I can look at it and go, okay, cool, I've already got, 10 things booked in. I can already look at May, I think it's May. And there's like 4 or 5 weddings booked in that 1 month. So, I already know that May is going to be, revenue wise, a very good month, kind of thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess it's again, that balance of, weddings are good and they're fun and they make good money, but I don't want to be a full-time wedding photographer. And if I take on too many, particularly because they book so far in advance, then I'll have to not be doing some of the other work that I potentially love and enjoy more.
Yeah. So that's a good question. Is what would be your, like, aside from the money side of things, what would be a dream outcome? So assuming, yes, you can hit all the revenue that you want in terms of her work that she wants, like, what would be your dream photography business in terms of the type of stuff you're doing? What would your week look like?
Probably potentially just a sport photographer. Well, actually, no, maybe not. A lot of sport, any kind of sport is kind of my big passion. That's kind of what got me into photography. It's I really love it from again, going back to me being a documentary photographer, anything that I shoot where I don't have to direct is kind of my happy place. Even going a bit of a tangent, the birth of your fifth child, I'd love to do more of that. Like, that's kind of definitely an area that I want more work in, is photographing births, because again, it was just pure documentary. I didn't have to pose anyone, I didn't have to direct anything. I just got to be a fly on a wall, move around the room and capture life as it happens, kind of thing. And in a lot of way, that's what sport is to me. It's this, and particularly a lot of the time, I shoot a lot of AFL. Being someone who I don't really care about AFL, in a lot of ways, I don't like the sport in terms of the men's side, but I find AFL, but also jet sport in general, just like culturally really, really interesting and really fascinating to photograph and view. And the last kind of couple of years, it's been very heavily shooting women's AFL, and again, I think it's in a really interesting cultural point at this moment as it's growing, and the challenges and the setbacks that it's facing as a sport. And for me as a documentary photographer, I find that just fascinating. Whereas when I shoot men's sport, I get a bit angry.
Well, we'll stay away from that. That's cool. Okay, so definitely more sports photography, and you enjoy anytime you're basically a fly on the wall.
And kind of shooting people. I really just enjoy shooting people. So one of my kind of, I guess, dreams as a photographer was always to be a photojournalist. So, which is kind of why I approach all my work in that kind of way. Any kind of work that's around that. I've just started working with the Star Weekly newspaper.
I did see a post on that on Instagram.
We'll see. I'm hired as a kind of casual fill-in photographer. So they have a full-timer, and they currently have someone who does their Saturday sport run, but they needed someone who can fill in when their full-timer is sick or away, and same on the Saturdays for the sport. They need someone who can fill in when their current photographer is not available. Problem with that kind of side of things is the pay is not great. I enjoy it, but it's definitely a bit, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't passionate about it.
And I think generally speaking, anytime where you are going out and getting in those private bookings, you got the pricing, the margin, all of those things, which is the goal of helping you figure out the marketing side of it. Okay, cool. Well, that is very helpful. So we might as well dive into the sports photography itself then. How does that actually work at the moment? How many shoots are you doing of that? How are you getting the clients that you have?
So kind of my main client for sport is the Kyneton Women's Football Club, which is the Wedge-tailed Eagles. I've been shooting for them for 6 or 7 years or something like that. So I probably do.
Yeah, cool.
I shoot for them every kind of couple of weeks.
Yep.
A mixture of, some of it's like this Sunday I'm shooting the game, but I'm just shooting video for data. So that's not super exciting, but and then other than that, it's kind of, at the moment, that's kind of it, really. Other than I do work for the Australian Grand Prix Corporation as a camera assistant. So for the Formula One Grand Prix this year, and then the MotoGP last year, I was working for them as a camera assistant. So again, this year in October, I'll be at the MotoGP.
What does a camera assistant mean?
So basically, I'm kind of the lowest person on the rung. So I'm in those jobs. I was following a videographer around, helping him carry gear, keeping on top of the timeline. Just being his assistant, really. But for me, both those opportunities were fantastic for building my portfolio. So I was able to carry my own cameras around. I was able to kind of still photograph and, in some ways do my own thing around, helping the videographer I was working with. And so from that, I've actually been able to build quite a good kind of motorsport portfolio, which is, again, an area I'd love to get more into. From that, for the Grand Prix next year, it's looking like if the Grand Prix Corporation are going to actually hire me as a photographer, not as an assistant. So that's very exciting. Unfortunately, they can't do it for the MotoGP because it's the last year that they're doing the MotoGP at Phillip Island. So there's kind of, not a whole lot of reason for them to pump extra resources into it. And then I guess from the portfolio I've built from those two events, while I was kind of a bit quiet, I've done a lot of what I call business fishing. So I've been looking up events and emailing them and, saying, hey, this is who I am. I'd love to shoot your event. Or so far that hasn't resulted in any actual bookings, but a few of it's resulted in, hey, I love your work. We're all good for this year, but contact us for next year, and it can potentially work.
How many of those outreaches have you done, and how many responses have you got?
I've done many outreaches. I reckon I've probably sent at least 100 emails. Some of it being like, I've been wanting to shoot more motorsport. I sent an email to basically every single kind of Victorian-based V8 supercar team, which most of them came back to me saying, they either didn't respond, or they came back saying, we've already got someone on board, or they have an agency, or whoever does it. One of them responded saying, we have someone, but get back in contact with us before the next Victorian race, which is in September, I think. So that's kind of my only hopeful lead from there.
That's still good to know. So basically, technically, that is an effective route, but they have actually got a plan in place for that. It sounds sort of similar to the weddings of like it's pre-booked ahead of time. So how are you going about tracking the contact you're making? Like, do you hear them, like your leads?
Just in emails, really. So, I send the emails out, and then, if I get a response, either if it's a thanks but no thanks kind of thing, then I just file it away in a folder. Anything that's a potential good response and goes into a different folder of still potential kind of client there kind of thing.
Okay. Well, that we might as well pause on that, and I'll bring up my thing. A big opportunity is building out some form of CRM, which can literally just be a spreadsheet. Like, it does not have to be a software if you don't want it to be a software. We use Go High Level, but I would say it's more complexity than you need at this stage of your business. But basically, what you little spreadsheet. So you would have name, email. You see that? Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Phone, all of those things, all of their contact details. And then you would have your touch points that you're going to do. So, like, number one, in general, particularly freelance, is a mindset of I'm bothering people, this is going to annoy them, etc. Particularly for all the people who do times, like anyone who's actively told you no, we don't need it. That's fine, and that's a different thing. But if they have, and certainly any of the ones who said yes, contact us later. You want to be tracking this, and then you want your notes, and you want to stated action items on this in January, etc. So it will just, because one of the big things is that people underestimate sort of how much effort they need to put into particularly outreach. But even if you get inbound, so let's say wings, you're getting people messaging with you. I know I had a project, I reached out to you, I was like, oh, I'm thinking about this project. I know I've ghosted on that because the project itself, after Dad passed away, it was like, oh no, I still want to do that project. Like, that is still on my agenda, and that's the kind of spreadsheet you can be like, oh, I'm going to circle back and just always see if that project's still happening. So just a spreadsheet is fine. But having a CRM is like definitely an action step. Starting totally fine for where you're at. The cool thing with CRMs is you can get basically, once you're busy, right? Once you're like, I can't even do the outreach because I don't have time, I've got too much happening, but I don't want to go back to quiet times to start happening. You can really look at CRM build out where you know that emails are going to go out and reminders that you wouldn't start there with where you're at with your business, just doing the spreadsheet. Definitely going to be fine. Interesting. So you're not hearing my audio? Sometimes. I might need to get some photos.
Yeah, sorry. It seems like works for a bit and then you drop out and I can't hear you. I assume it's potentially just for me. Maybe my internet's not good enough.
That's an interesting question. I don't know if Steve's on, if he can help with that at all. All right. Well, so what did you hear? Or what do you need me to repeat? That's fine. I can just repeat it for you.
Kind of most of that was chopped in and out. I kind of got the idea of, creating a spreadsheet so that I can, keep track of and set dates of when to, follow up with an inquiry kind of thing.
Yeah, perfect. No, if there's anything we can do. I'm not sure if it's going to be the internet on your end. I haven't seen anything on my end that would be concerning. Oh well, we'll keep powering along. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yes, tracking it would be very, very important, just to make sure that you're following up with people. Okay, so. And then commercial. We haven't talked about commercial yet. So how have you gone about getting commercial, and is that something that you would want to do more of or not, because that's not really...
So So commercial currently is, in a lot of ways, it's kind of nice, consistent work, unlike, I guess family photography, which, families maybe only book me once a year kind of thing. For commercial and for businesses, it's kind of nice. They need constant content for their social media type thing. So currently I have 2 or 3 builders. They're all builders. So one of them I work more with than the others. One of them I work quite closely with in terms of kind of helping him with his social media in a very kind of collaborative way. So, I'll go and photograph a job for him, and then, each month we kind of sit down for a meeting and kind of go through either what I've taken photos of or whatever stuff he's got on his phone that he's taken of. And then we, put it together with what the monthly content's going to be. He then writes all the copy and does all the posting himself. That's entirely up to him. But that's fun. I really enjoy that. He's also really, gets how I work, and we work really well together. I really, vibe with him and his business. And then the other kind of builders I work for are a bit more, your kind of bigger, more, I guess, commercial builders. And so for them, one of them, I just go and shoot the houses when they're finished, which is, kind of something a bit different. I do, it's definitely not something I want to do huge amounts of, like just shooting a house. But I do enjoy having a variety of work. In a lot of ways, hence why I'm not just a wedding photographer or just a family photographer. I do really enjoy having different things. So, and then there's another builder who I've just started working for, who they seem to be getting me a little bit kind of regularly. So I shot a house that's, the frame has just been put up for that. So that was some photos and video for that, and a bathroom kind of thing. So far that work has been coming in pretty organically. Other than the one I do social media for, I kind of reached out to him, and then the other 2 kind of more commercial builders, that has come in a bit more organically. And
is that because
it's definitely,
are they seeing that you're the photographer for somebody else, and then they come and get you?
I think so. The first one, the first builder I got, they kind of came through a contact of where I used to work. And then, the most recent one, I actually don't know how they found me, but I suspect just on Instagram. And then there's another builder who's contacted me because of what they've seen from one of the other builders. So, I think it's all coming through from seeing what other builders are posting, and then seeing that, I'm the photographer behind the content.
Yeah, perfect. So what are the rates on the commercial photography side of things?
So there's a slight difference between the builder I work with, who I do social media. I charge him a slightly lesser rate because it's, I guess a bit more consistent and a bit more kind of, commercially. A bit more social media. Whereas the other 2, I charge. So like if I'm shooting a whole house, if I'm just doing photos, I think I charge $400 for that. If I'm doing photo and video, then it bumps more up to like the $600 mark. It depends a little bit on the time. So like the new builder who I'm going to probably shoot for next week, he wants a house shot that's not furnished. So to me, that will be a bit easier to shoot. There's less kind of, I guess, frame. There's less framing, less, I guess, of a story to tell with the house because it's empty. So I think for that I'll only charge, I think, $300 or I think $350. Because it'll only take me no more than an hour to shoot, and it's only photos. So basically, maybe I should have said this at the start, I try and run everything off about $100 an hour. That's kind of my middle figure. So and that's, so for a shoot, that kind of, I automatically double that. So if I'm doing a 2-hour shoot, that's a $400 job in roughly, to include editing time. And then that's kind of, whether that's the right amount to use as my kind of middle amount, I don't know. It's just kind of the amount that I was kind of happy with and kind of have gone with. And then I kind of fluctuate it from there depending on what else I get out of the job. So, whether it's so obviously a commercial builder, I'm like, okay, they can afford a bit more and it's, maybe less of the passion work. So I'll charge a bit more. The sports stuff, as I've very much figured out, there's not much of a budget, but the passion's there, so I can lower the price. And then occasionally I've had a,
No, it's all right. Oh, so there must be a delay. There must be a little delay. So with the sports photography side of thing, is the, like, if that passion isn't going to pay the bills, basically, are there types of events that would have the budget for you to be able to build the?
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of a funny, the sport world's a bit of a funny one in the sense that they can kind of get away with not paying people very much because it's a dream job kind of thing. Anything kind of like big event, like any photographer who's shooting, any kind of Formula One kind of thing, they'd be getting paid well. I know the videographers that I assist at the Grand Prix, they're getting paid about $1,000 a day, which is, I'd be very happy with that. And yeah, I imagine, it's kind of and I don't know this 100%, but I'd imagine the jump from like low-level sports photographer up to then, being a proper professional sports photographer is probably quite significant. Like I would imagine a lot of the lower end events or competitions or whatnot kind of very much benefit from that. This is a dream job scenario and we don't pay very much. And then when you actually jump up and become a proper professional, I guess, I would assume and hope that the pay there is better.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, that just, that sort of, I need to keep that in mind because I think it's about deciding in terms of like direction. I'd be hesitant to tell you to go like all in on emailing sports people all of the time if it's not going to unlock income until you're at a certain level, versus building up, say, the family photography, which there's definitely, even though consistent, there's definitely a huge market for it. And that's what I would say with the sports. Obviously, there's like a lot of different sports happening all the time and a lot of repeat business. But with families, there's a lot of families. So even though it's not as repeating, am I still dropping out for you?
A little. Not too bad.
Okay. Oh, such a shame. Okay. I don't know if I might just message Steve and just see if he can help with that at all. Sorry.
I'll try turning the internet off all my other devices.
I was going to say, don't turn it off, but off the other devices, that's fine. Yes.
Yeah, not off my laptop.
Try. Not midstream. Okay, cool. So, all right, all that makes sense. So, I think that covers all the different types of photography. You said, competitive is good in terms of it means there is a lot of work to be had. If a lot of people are doing it, it's because there's a lot of work to be had. So how have you been getting so how have you been getting the family photo shoots? So you're doing 1 to 2 a month. How have you been getting those so far?
Either a little bit of word of mouth, a little bit from I guess how I found you, just seeing someone post on one of the local groups saying they're looking for a family photographer, and then I know some of them find me organically, whether that's finding my website or my social media.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But it is just all organic at the moment.
Yep.
All right. Steve has said I can drop my resolution. Where do I drop my resolution? Technical issues. I will. There we go. Yes. Okay. In the little arrow, so I can drop it to 720. Let's try that. All right. I have dropped my resolution, so hopefully, let's see. We'll see. Let me know if it helps at all with what's coming through to you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, just based on everything you've shared so far, I certainly the family shoots I have a lot of thoughts on. I think probably because I've actually well, so thoughts on how we can do that. The weddings, I'd be inclined, like you said, sort of just let them tick along in the background. You've already got something there, but we can talk about that if you do want to. And then the sports photography dive into. I'm less sure on how to go about it, if that makes sense. But we can dive into what may or may not work in that direction.
Hang on, my child's being cheeky. No, Sonny. Bud. No, now you've broken the helmet. Now I have to make a new one.
Talking to son, who is home.
Sonny,
and this is a marketing strategy call diving deep into freelance and just trying to help him grow the business, figure out how he can go from where he is
that was not okay,
beyond profit. And so we're just talking through sorry, I should have removed that from the screen. Thank you, Steve. So we're just talking through what he can do and the types of photography that he already does. There we go. Hello, sorry.
That's all right. Sorry about that.
Steve, no, that's all good. That works. So, okay. So, am I coming through better than before now? Is that fine?
Slightly better, yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you want to dive into talking about family shoots? Would you be if we went with a plan for how to get more family shoots? Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So. Are you there? Did you?
Yes. No, I missed that.
So I think in terms of my experience as a consumer, and there's multiple layers to this though, when we can talk through it. But when I put out the hello. So when I put out the call, can you still hear?
Yep. Yeah.
I needed an affordable photographer. So I was like, and in my head, I was like, I'm going to need someone who's just building their portfolio. That's what I'm going to get. And as much as you said, you know, there's a lot of people doing it. The other people that were in that $200 range, like they were very much early in their photography. And she did have lovely photos, but it was one of those experiences where it's like, yeah, like you're looking at the photos and you're a bit like they've either over edited them or the lighting's not quite right and all of those things. Whereas when I got your photos back, it's like they're just phenomenal photos. So I do a level of quality and skill that you
I missed pretty much all of that.
All right. Okay. I will try dropping my video down again. Another resolution.
S what? Daddy, S what? He's a
There
bug.
we go. Woo.
Sorry, I'm really ruining your quality here.
Hello. No, that's totally fine. It'll be whatever it'll be. So, can you hear me now? Does that work?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I will just restart that. That your pricing is low for the quality that you provide. Both in terms of the experience, like how you actually interact with the clients, as well as the actual quality of the photos. So is it all coming through now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. So I, at that 200, 250 price point, like I was expecting people who were building their portfolio. Like that was what I was anticipating. And the other people who replied, yes, there's a lot of competition, but I know like other photographers are charging $1,200 and $1,500. And at the call, I was like, I'm not going to pay $1,500 right now for a photo shoot. Like, it's just not even on my radar to spend that much money on a family photo shoot at the moment. But there's a big gap between $250 and $1,200. So that's definitely on my radar. Is pricing is always going to be one of your biggest. But how do you feel about that in terms of like what's your perspective on the pricing? I know you've already talked through, you know, the $100 an hour, but where is it coming from, if that makes sense, in terms of is that just the price point you want to be and you'd rather just pack the calendar full with that price point, or do you have certain thinking on it?
It's a bit of both. So part of it is just, you know, the idea was to be kind of on the lower end to hopefully get more clients, and then kind of once I'm almost kind of like busy enough of that, then to, you know, bump the price up a bit, you know, so that I'm still getting that same revenue but less work kind of thing. I also don't really want to be a $1,200 family photographer because I know I wouldn't spend that money. You know, I think it's, as much as, you know, yes, there's a lot of work and skill and whatnot involved in it. For me, and again, going back to, you know, wanting to be a documentary photographer, is with the family stuff, I have a bit of a philosophy that I think everyone deserves family photography, and I think everyone should get it, particularly in this day and age where, yes, everyone takes 1,001, you know, photos on their phone, but you never look back at them. You never, you know, you'll never actually print them. You know, they're kind of, you almost don't even remember them. Whereas, you know, I feel like, and I know for us, like we do, you know, a family shoot every year with some friends from uni. And yeah, they are the photos we print. They're the photos we've got on the wall. It's, you know, it's always a memory we look back on and, oh yeah, that day when we took those photos was really, really fun. So yeah, I don't want to be a super expensive family photographer because I don't want to, yeah, I like being kind of more affordable, at least at this point in my, my career, my business. I have the capacity. I don't feel like I'm working for too cheaply. And so, yeah, while it's financially, makes sense for me, my business, if I can stay at that lower end or as low as kind of makes sense. I'm happy to stay there, kind of thing.
Perfect. No, that is good. Because that's what I want to gauge where you're at. Because you can have strategies for both, and you can absolutely leverage it. And there's definitely a market for it, particularly someone of your skill set charging the prices that you charge. There's definitely a huge market for that. And that when you were saying in terms of the competition and stuff, the people at that price point do not have so I'm very confident in terms of putting together an offer around that and it being very effective. So and I love, so in terms of, so one of the things that I do with marketing, a lot of why I do this and like teasing out in this way is being that's just very natural to you. It's very conversational, but it's like a very powerful marketing message. And so what you just said of everyone deserves family photography, and you never look back on these photos that you're taking in your phone. It's not an event or a moment. They're almost just forgotten. But this day, it's a memory that you're going to look back on its experience, like all that. I've got that written down. But like that is exactly what you would take and put together in a pitch to say post in the local Facebook group. Like you would take those exact words. So that's why I love doing this. I find that when people are like relaxed and just talking about what they love doing, the things just come out, and it's like awesome. That is your marketing message right there. So that is the message that I would actually frame the whole family photography angle around. So so based on everything we have talked about, I feel like very, very good about putting together as an action step to getting more business for a whole bunch of reasons. I know that when I found you in the local Facebook group, there were so many people that commented and was like, Tees is your guy. Absolutely. He's the go-to. He's the one to do it. And so I'm really confident that if you put saying I'm offering this thing into the local Facebook group, you would have people like me commenting and saying, oh, this is an amazing opportunity. Make sure you book it in. Tees is incredible. So yes, so I feel really good about that. If that's something that you would like to do more of the family photo shoots.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. The other thing which I do think is interesting, so we were talking about the spreadsheet before. With the spreadsheet, particularly around family photography, I would have all your key dates. So when you're onboarding a client, let's bring this up. I might as well show on screen. So when you're onboarding, I would actually send them a questionnaire and get key information around like anniversary, anything they're willing to share. Obviously, if they don't want to share it, they don't want to share it. But if they're happy to, ask them their anniversary date and like birthdays, because that will give you a list of when you're going to follow up with this family of like, hey, it's wedding anniversary. Are you looking at getting anniversary photos? Like that's so you can be direct, or you can just say happy anniversary. Sales perspective, it's like I started thinking that because we had paid for our initial journey with family photography was we had someone who charged a few $100s, and then the next time 100, and then the next time it was 1,200, and it got to that point where I'm like, I can't do family photography, and we were doing it sort of every 3 years because I'm like, I'm just not going to actually add every single year. There are families that can do that, but many can't. But at that 250 price point, I was like, this is something I could do every year. I was like, I would pay for this for my birthday every single year. I'm like, let's just capture the sorry.
Yes, there was a bit of dropping out there, but yes, I see where you're going with that.
Tracking the writing. Yeah, cool. All right, so all right, so family shoot. So what's the difference between the half hour and the 1.5 hour package? Are they? I think they're on your website.
Yeah, it is on my website. It's basically just a more or less a time thing. Obviously, with a half hour shoot, you're going to get less shots. I'm the shot kind of exam, or are pretty low on my website. I set the expectation quite low, and then I definitely send far more. But I also kind of try and gauge that a little bit with the family or whoever I shoot. That I say, all right, look, do you want a large gallery with lots of options, or do you want a more curated gallery? Because I know some people love all the options in the world. Some people love, they don't want all the options. They just want a curated gallery.
Yeah. So that was one way that I was actually thinking. I know other photographers do that. Well, they'll do the upgrade thing. Is that something that you would be opposed to? Because that would be a really easy way of still offering the $250 price point and being like, you get your 20 photos, you could still over deliver and deliver 30, but then you could have pay an extra 100, pay an extra 200, and you get the full gallery. Is that something that you would not feel good about doing, or would that work to make it so that way you're able to offer the accessible price point, but still get the essentially double the revenue from it for the people who can afford to pay for the full gallery?
I've always kind of felt a bit funny about that, where maybe if it's something like, you're still getting, 20 or 30 photos and then you're paying for more. I guess for me, it's always kind of been like, I have the photos anyway. Like I kind of, there's no point in if there's a photo that I really like and, I don't want to cut it out of the gallery or whatever. I'm always kind of like, well, what's the point of that photo just living on my hard drive? Like, I don't care about the photo. It's not my family kind of thing. I'd rather give, even if I've said, you'll get 20 photos, I'd rather give 50 photos if I think there's, 50 really nice shots in there. Because I just, I kind of hate that I kind of hate in general that most of my photos just live in the digital world, whether it's on my hard drive or on Instagram. So, it's even worse if it's just buried in my hard drive for no one to ever see. So that's kind of why I've never gone down that route of, offering couples to pay more for more photos. Maybe, at the cheaper price point, it's maybe worth something considering. What irks me is when
you go on.
Sorry, what irks me is when photographers only offer like 5 photos or something, and then they you got to pay like $500 to get the rest of them. That really bothers me.
Yeah. So I think you can definitely do both of because I was thinking that we've done a bunch of different photography experiences across the years, and one of them that typical sort of like get in for a $30 thing, and then we're going to show you all of the things, and it's going to be thousands of dollars, and it's like, okay. But I think there's a big distance between that and what you're delivering. Like you can still over deliver. So even if the promise, like what because I know as a consumer, I read it and I was like, $250, I get 20 images, like that's a really good deal. I was really happy with that. And so you can still even over deliver. If you go, look, I'm going to promise 20, I'm going to give them 30, and then still give them that option to upgrade. And I don't know how it would work in terms of your process, because I know obviously you just deliver the whole gallery, whether you deliver the whole gallery with watermarks and say you can go through, and you can actually let them know. So you can say, you know, the agreed, like you can, you would normally get the 20. I'm happy for you to select 30 that you'd like, sort of thing. So you can bonus on the delivery of it, to let them know. And then say, you know, you can select which ones you would like, or it's an extra $100. You can upgrade. So you don't even have to double the price. Like even just that, when you're talking about the sort of margins that you're working at with it, make a big difference very quickly if you are getting that extra $100 if it's something that you do a lot. But we can also just park it and just say, like, right now, no. Like right now you love what you do. Right now you just want to get busy. And one of the things with marketing is you want to make a really good offer. It's the strength of putting out into the world and that people feel really good about it. So I actually love your offer. I think it's phenomenal. Like the whole experience was phenomenal. It's more from a business and mindset perspective and all of those things, but we can basically come back to it. So like step one would be take the offer that you have right now, which and get you really busy with that. And then you're at the point where you're like, I'm too busy. I don't know how to raise my rates anymore. And then we can start working on that, if that makes sense. Does that sound good?
Yeah, because the other thing with, you know, like if I show them the full gallery and say, you know, select 30 or whatever, for me at that point, I've edited the whole gallery anyway. So again, it's kind of like I've done the work. So potentially, you know, if they then don't upgrade to the full gallery, then I've kind of, you know, potentially kind of wasted time editing those photos that then are never going to get used. So then I'm going to like, I'll just have it all.
So I actually love what you do, and I do love the package. It will just like pour people into it because I know that people will be very, very happy with it. It was a very good experience. I love the experience, and I'm sure there are plenty of other people who love it. It's more just, I think, having on your radar, because I would doing you would service not to basically, you know, if that makes sense. One of the main things with if you're trying to keep it at the affordable price is really streamlining all of the editing processes and all of those things. So how long would it take you to edit up from the 30-minute shoot versus the 1 to 1.5 hour shoot, like editing for those things for the family?
It probably, the other thing is I'm not always particularly good at sticking to my 30 minutes. But I'd say a 30-minute shoot, particularly a 30-minute family shoot, that probably takes me an hour to edit. And then the 1 hour to 1.5 hour shoot, that's probably taken me closer to 2 hours. Again, depending a little bit. I've had a few where they've chosen that 1 hour shoot because they've done like a full family shoot. So, you know, there might be like 15 people there. I do think I'm at the point where if I get another one of those, that I need to probably up the price, because I end up taking more photos and it just takes more time to edit than if it's, you know, just a...
that could be a standalone package, a multi-generational package, and you just charge more for that.
Yeah, that's probably something I need to do, because I think
well, that would give us a tier. So you would essentially have your mini shoot, your full session with immediate family, and then a multi-generational photo shoot, and you just have a different price for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an action step. We're going to add.
Not if you're going to cut it.
I'm not.
All right.
You got scissors in your hand.
So, I'm going to have mini shoot is $250. 30 minutes. It's coming up. And you get 20 plus. We're going to have number 2. We're going to have the full session. Oops. All right. Are you there? Are you back? I don't know. Are you
Yes.
there?
Yeah, I did because I was talking to Sunny.
Sorry. Yeah, all good. So we will definitely add that in. So this is the multi-generational tier. Multi-gen.
Yep.
So what would you want to make that package? So they're still usually an hour and a half. What would you make your deliverable of images?
Probably the same as the full session. It's kind of 60 plus photos. Oh, I've lost you.
What price range would you be thinking? Would you think about the
Probably 700.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Awesome. So that's an action step. Is we're going to add that as an actual defined package. Because I think that's, totally reasonable. By the time you're talking to 15.
Yeah.
I think that's very reasonable. Okay, cool. So we'll have those as your packages. And then what I would love to see is you getting in the local Facebook group. I think proactively, and you've got each of the groups have like specific, etc. But I would like to see you actually like creating the post active. I know that right now you've been doing it, but actively we're going to get this out into the world and get to that.
Just higher.
With family shoots, how do you go about, like, do you have specific, would you do more than one on a day? Like, how many would you aim to do? Because you said the 3 to, I'm losing, 3 to 4 shoots or is that for the week? That's for the week. Yeah. How many family shoots would you try to put on a day, basically?
I could easily do probably 3. I think 3 would be probably the max. More so in terms of like lighting, like you ideally aren't really shooting in the middle of the day, kind of thing. But there's no reason you couldn't do 2 in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon, evening. Also, depending on if there's little kids, then I generally say let's go for the morning rather than the afternoon kind of thing.
Whoa. That's better than my puppy.
All right. The other thing, how will I go about this? So have you done any active posts where you put together an offer in the local Facebook groups at all, or you've just been responding to people?
Yeah, so I haven't done any active posts in the local pages. It's just either been posted on my social media or responding if I see someone or if someone tags me in a post where someone's looking for a photographer.
Yeah, cool. Right. So action steps. I've got all of my paper that I'm like flicking through in front of me. All right. So action steps. We're definitely going to want to create. Like, I should show up while I'm writing it. Action steps. So one is going to make an offer in the local group. Because I think just doing that, you will get. There are plenty of families that do still want photos. I think particularly like even during quieter periods like winter, you're going to get families that love, like they love being outdoor. They love muddy puddles and all those things. And you're also going to get people who, like me, we shoot anyway because they're pregnant. And you may, I wonder, So the family photo shoots, I definitely think that's like a very obvious active step because we have such active local Facebook groups, and I know that you have a ton of clients group who comment and say Tisa's fabulous. So like that's I think that absolutely will be the play. And you're going to want to find out how often you're allowed to post. So with each of these posts, because a lot of them, I think they'll let you do it maybe once a week, or they'll have specific rules about what you're allowed to do. With each of these ones, I would be changing which photos you use. So and we can actually come it in terms of what we write, but I would be using the same offer copy. So like the words are all basically the same each time, but put images that are different, because that way, if people have seen one post, they're not then seeing it thinking, even though you've got the same text every single time, have the images be different, because your stuff is really visual. It's really visual, so it's great for marketing because it's a very visual thing. Direct, like how to get more things coming in is putting together this offer, putting it in local Facebook groups. And then the other thing would be also actively making the offer on your Instagram stories. So I know you said you had a love-hate, you've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with social media. So what is your perspective on doing social media marketing for the business? Like how do you think about
that? I'm happy to do it. I try and post, put a post up every second day. I'm not good at putting, there was a little while last year where I tried to, be putting up a story every day, like a little snippet from life or whatever. But I was never very consistent at that. And then I ended up deleting social media off my phone. Just because I had enough of it. And so that essentially put a stop to posting, daily stories. You can do it through, I've still got the business manager app on my phone, so I still get messages. And whatnot, I can post stories from there, but it's a bit clunky. And then I broke the phone on my camera anyway. So I broke the camera on my phone. So that put the end of that. But that's why I have an iPad, which lives at home, and that's where I run all my social media off. So, you know, the way I currently do it is at night when I'm sitting in the boys' room waiting for them to fall asleep is when I'm on my iPad. That's when I'll do my social media post. And yeah, so I could definitely be sitting in, I could definitely be putting better stories up. Currently, my stories are just resharing when someone else has posted my photo.
Yeah. So I think I don't think it's a bad thing at all to reshare the photos. Like that's it's particularly when it's their stuff. So generally speaking, they don't recommend sharing like your own reels. If you put your own posts onto the feed, they don't necessarily recommend sharing it to stories. But sharing that it's like on somebody else's page and they've published your photos, that's a good use of stories. That's definitely something to keep doing. But I think actively making offers in stories is a really good thing as well. So actively saying, I've got capacity for a family mini shoot. Like, let me tell you about what we do at my family mini shoots. And so you can definitely be actively making those offers in stories. And I think the good thing with what you do is there is so much visual behind the scenes as well. Like even when you're editing, like literally just a photograph of your computer screen, and so probably be one of the biggest challenges you might have maybe is because the photos themselves, like you're so good at what you're doing, it's very aesthetic. Stories does not need to be aesthetic. Like it's very much like other people would actually relate to like your home with the kids, like, and not that you have to feature the children, but that relating to you as a father, relating to that you're juggling freelancing and being home with the kids, and people like to bond with people and see that they're relatable and stuff, and that's what I'm doing a lot with my own things, right? Like I'm sharing random behind the scenes of like, I've got my sourdough here and I've got this. Like the stories is the way I think about the stories. And I'm still very new to doing the daily content side of things for my own personal brand over on Lizzie Sophia anyway. But what I've been doing is stories as more of a very much like it's happening. This is just what's happening. This is how it's unfolding. Here's how the work integrates into it. And also this is like little snippets of the combi van and whatever, like the little things that make you because I think that my perspective on what I'm doing is because if I'm having fun and I'm like, I want to share this thing, then I'll keep doing it. Whereas if I'm trying to think through of what do I strategically need to post constantly, it becomes a chore to be done instead of you actually have a very clear offer. And so it's very clear that there is photography, it's documentary style. And so then you can just really have fun, I think, particularly in the stories of you can pop in, you can talk philosophy if you want to talk philosophy around why you do documentary style. So I would look at any of those we've sort of already touched on here, and I know from you in the past, but like documentary style would be a good one for philosophy. And that one in particular, because it's actually very unique that the way, because I think it's one thing to say that look at my work, this is the output, but also what is the experience of working with you. And so that's part of what you can show through the stories is talking more philosophy and the working with you. Also, even the Everyone Deserves family photography. That is a thing over and over and over and over again. is that, you do this because you want to make it accessible, and you think all of those things, talking the philosophy, people will resonate with that, draw people in. What other things philosophy-wise? But does that make sense in terms of only polished things? Is that?
Yeah, and I think that's something where I've struggled a little bit is, like I've done a few talking, to camera videos, but I almost feel like I have, I film it on my actual camera, with a proper mic, and it's kind of, it doesn't happen very often because it needs, I need to be able to sit down and, feel like I've got something important to say, I guess. And yeah, so I could definitely try and get that out of my head, that it doesn't have to be so, perfect and polished. And jump in on this.
I think in terms of two different things. So we've been talking about this, the idea of bingeable marketing and stuff. So, but you've got your core foundational message, and that can be polished. So you can sit down, really want to make a really nice, high quality video because you are a videographer. Are you right?
Yeah. What do you need, son?
So I will just keep chatting about this for a second. Just for anyone else that is watching back over the recording or joining us, I am really loving the way that social media has evolved, where it's not just all polished, and it can be really authentic and real connection as well. And so if I there we go. I can bring him back on. Are you ready now?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm back.
I just got to keep jumping in, and I'm like, I can just keep talking.
Daddy,
So
what is
so essentially both things can be true. We can have the very well polished things because you are a videographer, you are a photographer. I do think making it clear as well that you can do video as well if people do want that. I didn't know that, and I've hired you multiple times, and I didn't know that you could do video. But that's more a marketing project that I'm sitting down and doing. I'm thinking through, I'm going to set it up, and I'm specifically trying to talk about X, Y, and Z. But I think that's different from the daily getting on and just literally, obviously your phone. You need a phone that can record, but even if you do it on your iPhone,
the front camera works. It's the back camera that's broken.
Well, the front camera will be fine. I use the front camera all the time for my stuff. And I think I would like to see you doing that because the post Facebook groups is a very good way to get immediate response, and also like keep doing it. Again, you don't want to just be like, oh, I'm busy, I don't need to do it anymore. Like whatever cadence they will let you post in the group, you're posting in the group basically. But I think the ideal scenario that you get into is got people who are interested in what I'm doing, and I just have those inbound inquiries coming through. I always certainly want that for my business. I want people to know who I am, to want to work with me, and to just be reaching out to me. And you're only going to get to that point by consistently actually down. So yeah, and I think the beauty of your services are that they are so visual. Like it's you have things that you can be sharing, and so I would be thinking through your feed as your sort of portfolio and your this is showing. The stories is more just that relation of I'm a real person, this is my life, and all of that. Does that make sense, how the two sort of work together?
Yeah.
And then, of course, actually making offers in story as well. So actively putting up, and it can just be a text. So you grab whack it up with text at the top that's just summarizes the offer of, hey, I do, if you don't know, I do mini family photo shoots,
What does
$200, 30 minutes, you get 20 plus DM
what
me
does
if you
only word make?
super, super simple, but you're just like constantly. What I do, I've got capacity. I can help you with this. And that phrase, everyone deserves family photography, I love as well. Amazing, cool.
What does only word make?
We're going back to
Daddy, what does only word?
Show this on stream. So action steps we've got so far: making the offer in the local Facebook group. We're going to share. Not low quality, low production. Low production videos on Instagram stories, IG stories, and make offer for mini shoots. Regularly. Sorry, helping his son. So I run you through where we're at so far. So basically, Ties is doing about $40,000 a year in profit at the moment, and his target would be at least to double that to $80,000 of profit. And we've talked through the different types of that he does. So he does families, weddings, sports, and commercial photos. And the area that I think is the most obvious area in terms of offer to put out in the marketplace right now is the family photo shoots that he does, because he actually good offer for that. And as he is very, very affordable. He's at the $250 price point, which is usually a price point of building a portfolio. So that is that's very much a price point where are probably a lot lower than the quality of what he delivers. And it's a brilliant offer. So anything to do with marketing, let's get rid of this thing. So, whoa, that's very tight on my face. So anything to do with marketing, if you have it all comes down to the offer. The offer is the foundation of everything. And this is really exciting. So as I already talked about with Ties, we discussed whether to raise his prices, because obviously if he's needing to double his profit, you could just double the prices, and that's not what he's wanting to do. And that's why I like to have this discussion around what is the philosophy, what are the goals, where are you actually trying to? Is brilliant, which is everyone deserves family photography. So it looks like he's ready again.
I'm back.
So I've just got the action steps. So we've got make the offer in the Facebook group. And you turn down, is it movie in the background?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It was very, very loud. All good. So you're going to videos, low production, being nice and easy, and make sure you're actually making the offer so that people do know about it. And then the other thing, I do think you're building out a CRM, being a spreadsheet, and add to it and for the photo shoot, do onboarding. And just see if you can get the important dates out of people. I don't think you need to make a big deal out of it, basically, of just ask them for it. And that gives you a flag for when to follow up with people, or even more photography. And you can actually say that, like in the questionnaire, the reason I'm asking for these dates is I like to follow up with my clients to see if they would like to schedule any special milestone photography. And so like they can then choose if that's something that makes sense to them and they want to share that information, they can. If they don't have to. So one of my big philosophies with marketing, I'm not playing games with people. Like I hate people will frame things and try to make things sound more interesting, whatever. I just like being honest. I just be like, here's this information that some people won't want to share. They won't want to share their date of birth. It's like, oh, that's private information I don't want to share. That's the reason I'm asking. The reason I'm asking is I would love to follow up and check in around whether you want milestone photography along the way. If that's like, there's no worries if you don't want it. So that's just my approach to marketing. It keeps it very fun and easy. Where if you're thinking about how to press it, you've got to say exactly the right thing. It starts to get overwhelming instead of just, this is what I'm doing. So, all right, perfect. So, I think we might as well actually. Sorry, would you be able to turn that down anymore? Do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Actually. We actually have more action steps. So the other action step. Add multi-generational. Add multi-gen photo shoots. Package. Yeah, one thing that I would recommend, obviously you can just send them to the photo packages page on the website, but I think that having like a literal one-page PDF that just says 3 packages would make sense. Just so that if someone is messaging, you've just got that saved in your phone or your iPad or whatever, and you can just be like, yeah, here's all the details on my on the packages that I offer, basically. So and obviously have some photos on there to show it up. But yes, so and also you want to add on that. So yes, you've got your PDFs. You also want to add testimonials that you've got. So you'd want to
Proof of what? Sorry.
Proof from clients. So like just the testimonials, like what you've got on the website.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yep.
a couple of nice things that people have said. And it doesn't need to be like heaps and heaps and heaps, but just this is the package and dropping this is the pricing on it. It's always nice to have some testimonials there. So that was actually something I want to talk to you about, proof. One of the things I was thinking a lot about with your business, and again, at this price point, I genuinely don't think you need a ton because you've got clearly very good at what you do, and anyone who checks out your Facebook or your Instagram will see that you're very good at it. So I don't think it's actually an issue at the price point, but your the experience of working with you really blew me away. And so I feel like having more testimonials from people talking about that experience, because that was one thing I was talking to Steve about working with you, and he said, we never would have got a birth ever if it wasn't you and the way that you were in the space, because it was one of those things where he said, he's like, this is not a performance. Like we're not staging anything. Like the whole thought of having a photographer there was weird. But it was because of the way that you showed up in the family photo shoot that made us feel confident that would actually work. So it's more of a project. It's not a like immediate action right now, but I would love to see you contact all of your past people who, they're raving fans. Like they're the people that are on Facebook saying, oh, Tees is your man. He's great. He's fantastic. I would love to see you going around, because you are good with video, and actually visiting people and just seeing if they will, like, obviously you tee it up before, not rock up with a video camera. But seeing who would be to be on camera talking about the experience of working with you. So obviously you want people saying, oh, the photos are beautiful. That's fine. But I think the missing piece that the photos themselves don't communicate is what is the experience of working with you, because you do have a very specific style. You're very much a fly on the wall. You really help people feel comfortable. And I think the more people that you have saying that is a good thing. So that would be like a goal, not a like needs to be done right now, because you do already you've got written proof, you've got your Google reviews, you've got your photos themselves. So, but I do think adding that for wherever possible, capturing video from people that are big fans, talking about the actual experience of working with you would be really beneficial as well. All right. Does that all make sense? Is that all feeling good?
Yeah. Some good points there for me to work on and implement.
Well, I reckon we might I might screen share and type instead of writing. I reckon actually putting together the offer for the Facebook groups would be the main thing. Where was my? Oh,
Yep.
I'm losing my. There we go. I found the page that I want. All right, I can stuff it screen here. Let's just do those. How do I get a new note? Maybe I'll do a text edit. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what one I'm going to screen share.
That's all right.
Let's see if I can just screen share a text edit window. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see if I can bring that up. Show on screen. Oh, this I'm all right. So you would want to. I am a big fan, particularly like local Facebook, really clear and really direct about who your audience is a really good thing. So are you looking at getting family photos? I am Tees. I feel like Reese. That was great when you said it to me.
Yeah, it was a. That's good enough. It was a customer at a cafe job that I worked at when I was 18 that came up with that line, and I stole it.
Yeah. I like it. It's because I remember reading. I'm like, is it ties? Is it no Tees is good. Tees like Reese. Actually, Tees like Reese. Get rid of pronounce. Tees like Reese. And I'm a local professional photographer. I believe everyone deserves. So we're just taking that exact phrase that you used earlier. Family photography, and have affordable family photo packages available. So we want to go, and then I would actually say I'd probably dive into the three packages almost straight away. I think we'll workshop this, but I think I would dive straight in. So package one. Where were they? Sorry, I do have the notes. Here we go. We've got mini shoot. All right, mini shoot. $250 for a 30-minute family photo, 20 plus images. And then we're going to go package 2. We've got full session with immediate family. And that is 1 to 1.5 hours and 60 plus images. And then 3 multi-generational. $700, and it's 1 to 1.5 hours and 60 plus images. Sorry, I'm getting the words up again. There we go. All right. I also liked what you said around we're all taking hundreds of photos on our phones and then never looking back on them. Then we don't even we don't even remember what photos we took. I love family photography because memorable, let's call it a memorable experience that you can look back on and print the special photos too.
My degree.
Yes, a degree, yeah.
It's a Bachelor in Fine Arts (brackets photography).
Because again, I think that's really interesting. Like the 250 building a portfolio, not I already have a degree in this.
Yeah.
Professionally trained with a Bachelor of Fine Arts Photography. And then going to my style is documentary. Let's say this is a documentary style photo shoot, not staged. I'm a fly on the wall, naturally interacting with each other. And I liked what you said, like with our photo shoot, because I know I was like, oh, like I like that in general, but I would like one of us like all standing there together. So I think including that of and around halfway through the shoot, we'll make sure we get some good group photos. Together. Something like that. Because I know that's an objective that, it's one thing, for style, but I would actually like a photo of us all together on the wall. So, but yeah, I think that's it. It's very direct. It's very offer driven, but the beautiful thing is because it is such a good offer. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Just happy to post that in the Facebook group. Maybe have any objection to that? Anything you would want to add to it?
No, I think that looks really good. And yeah, I think that's definitely an area where, I kind of feel like my skills are there. The product is good. My offer is good. It's just kind of getting my name out there. And yeah, I think posting in a local Facebook group is a very good way to get my name out there in the local area where, my main clientele is.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Well, I think I'm happy with all those action steps. I don't know, is there anything else you want to discuss? Got time, so we can go into other the sports and stuff, I feel like really confident that that's like it's the good next thing to get you booked up. So
Yeah,
and then we
yeah.
can come back and talk about other things. But I'm happy to deep dive into anything else if there's anything else that you feel like you'd like to cover.
The only other one would be if you have any thoughts on how to get more birth photography.
Yes,
Because currently my it's one I kind of have no idea how to market. Currently my marketing is I made these little flyers and print them off and gave them to a lady in Woodend who is I guess she's kind of like a naturopath. She does like Chinese medicine and acupuncture, and so she works with a lot of people who are either trying to fall pregnant or are pregnant, and getting that acupuncture and stuff done. And then other than that, there's a bit of a spiel on my website, but that's kind of it. And it's kind of the one area that I don't really know at all how to market. I don't really feel like I could dump on Instagram and be like, hey, let me come into your birth space and photograph you. It will be great.
Yeah. Okay, so definitely have ideas on this. So for anyone watching the replay, I was Tisa's first birth photography client, and that really came about because the pregnancy shoot that he done was so fantastic. For me, it was the way you talked about your experiences of welcoming your kids into the world that made me feel really confident that you understood, like that you'd be able to hold the space, because it bringing a man into the space in particular, but also just because I'm just really aware of like what sort of energy are people bringing in, what's gonna interrupt me, and so that was like, those were the two big objections. Being a man was because I've literally only ever had my husband or women. Like that is it. I don't think I've ever had a male doctor. Like it's like, is this going to freak me out, etc. So that was a big objection for me, and the just that feeling of birth is not a performance. And I think that phrase, like birth is not a performance. I'm not there to. I don't use any flash. I think that was amazing to me, like the such good photos in really low light conditions. I think that would be really disruptive. So I think those are the things that I'm thinking of. Like, I don't want flashes. I don't want this to feel like it's a performance. Birth is not a performance. I'm a fly on the wall. I'm just here to unfolding. That's it. And so I think being really clear on I really appreciated the meeting beforehand where you asked around, is there anything you don't want me to capture? That helped me feel really comfortable that had been communicated. And then I think, so I will get to marketing, but I'm just talking as the buyer. This was sort of my experience of it. Was there anything else? I definitely liked that. Is there anything you don't want photographed? And it is a pricing thing that freaked me out, of like not knowing, because I've had very historically like very quick births, and so that and I think for a lot of women they would feel that of, well, I don't know at what point do I call if it's going to end up being too long. So, and I don't actually know how you would work through that in terms of pricing, etc. But I know that we discussed that of like, if it's it will be this price if it's this time window, and it won't be more than X would be. That was very helpful mentally going into it. Tricky if it's like it's a 24-hour labor and you're like, what have I gotten myself into here? So that would be more of a question, I think, for other birth photographers as well, for like how they handle that and how they go about that. I don't know. So in terms of the marketing, I absolutely absolutely agree. So I feel like birth photography, I don't know that you get much traction at all just posting into the Facebook group. It's like, who are you? Why? I would say that's going to be through trusted referral. That's where, so similar to the Mount Macedon Winery and the sports things where you have existing relationships, looking at all of your home birth midwives. So I would say home birth women are more likely to want photos than the women going into hospital, not necessarily. But the reason I bring that, I definitely know there are women who've had hospital births who get photos. Hospitals get so cagey about how many people you're allowed. So if you as the photographer count as one of the extra people there, then that could be a problem. So I do know Castlemaine, they are okay with other people being like, as in more people. That was one of the reasons why I was looking at birthing there, was because they were willing to let me have more people there. Basically make a list of every home birth midwife in the area that you can find, and see if you can figure out contacts at Castlemaine as well. Because I would say that they're going to be your most likely to not have, challenges for that. Steve has just said, I'd be curious how much birth photography on Google as well. That's true. So you can go very keyword based, because, and I actually think there weren't many birth photographers out this side of town. I think I actively was looking for birth photographers on Google, and it was actually hard to find.
Yeah, that's from the Googling that I've done. There's heaps of like newborn photographers around this area, or people targeting that kind of thing. But I think I saw a post on Facebook by one person advertising birth photography kind of in this area. Obviously, there's heaps of like, in Melbourne and whatnot. But again, they're also really expensive. You're looking at like $2,500 to $3,000 for, which I understand time-wise, but again, for me, it's more the like, it's the kind of thing that I don't want it to be a luxury thing. I don't want it to be, it's something that I wish something I wish we'd done for our kids, that we'd had someone photograph the birth. And there's no way we could have afforded to spend $3,000 on that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what I would be looking at is putting together, you could definitely, like, I know it's on the family portraits, you've got the labor and birth photography. You could possibly actually have a dedicated page on the website, I think, that's more optimized to those keywords specifically. That's a more traditional sort of SEO play. As Steve mentioned, you could go microsite altogether. Microsite is where it is just purely dedicated to that topic. I don't know how that works from an SEO perspective. I'd be inclined to more just actually, so on your Ties Urie website, where it's got weddings, family and portraits, sports, etc. Birth is one that actually comes. Okay. So I do think basic SEO around birth photography in the Macedon Ranges, that could, so that anyone who is actively looking for it absolutely can. The other thing I would do is communicate with the home birth midwives. And again, I would actually communicate that heart that you have towards it of, I don't think that this should be a luxury purchase. This is my packages, and it won't be more than X. So it's like, for quick births that happen really quickly or whatever, it's this, and it's not more than this, because I don't want women to feel pressure, etc. I think particularly the home birth midwives, they again would resonate with what I said of like that you understand the physiological birth and the being a fly on the wall and all of those things. Like the last thing they want to do is feel like they've made any sort of connection that makes a woman feel uncomfortable, basically. Like so if they're going to recommend it, then they need to feel comfortable with it. So I would probably get like an interview with me and probably first. So that one I would set up more like professionally, like you said, like get it set up, get it looking nice.
Yeah.
Maybe have us come over and interview us about our experience. So, and it would be longer form, because I think with that, so a $250 fan is a very simple decision. It's like, it's half an hour, like it's a morning out of our day,
Mm.
and it's going to be fun, and he's got great photos on his website. Inviting someone into your birth space is like a way bigger emotional decision. The
Yeah.
husband is feeling weird. Like that was, I remember Steve saying that. He was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to, man, is coming to the birth. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he was like, am I
Yeah.
supposed to be offended by this? Like he was very supportive of me, just like, what do you want? It's your birth. You're the one giving birth. But like,
Mm.
I think, yeah, different relationship dynamics. Like I think that would actually be interesting, having both perspective. And I am happy for people to contact me directly. Like if they actually want to talk to me about my experience, I wouldn't want my number published publicly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're talking to them and they're like umming and ahhing about it, I'd be perfectly happy to have my experience. But I think that would definitely be a really good thing, is having us on camera talking about our experience, because it is a big decision, and so having something that is in depth that people can go into would be really good. And then again, a PDF or message that you can send to the midwives, but realistically, it'd be like, I think trying to actually build a relationship with them as well, of like, would we get coffee and like talk about it, sort of thing. But you want a simple 1 or 2 page, like, here's the photos from the birth that we captured, but touching on those core things, like you're wanting to really obviously address that. And I think speaking to your heart for it will resonate with people, that this shouldn't be a luxury. I want to make it accessible. And yeah, and going from. So Steve has just said it would be interesting to find birth publications and whether you can collab and write articles and stuff. Yes. I think that might be a less direct way to do it. So basically with anything like this, where it's high trust from someone else, like a family photo shoot is not high trust. You can just go into the Facebook group and say you do it. Again, you could actually do a separate post that is just birth photography related. You actually could do that to the existing Facebook group. You would not do it like all the time, I don't think, but just a post that is, hey, I'm Tees, I captured this birth, and here's my philosophy to birth photography, and here's what I love about it and stuff. If you're interested, you can message me and we can just chat. And again, you're not like that one. I would be less direct of like, let's do it, and more if you'd like to message and chat about whether this might be right for you. Like, it's more relational. I do think that could still work, because again, if someone goes into the Facebook group and searches birth photography, you will then come up. But yes, that would be a big part of it. Trust. So when you've got a high trust purchase, you always want to look at, how can I borrow the trust that somebody else has? And that's why you're looking at what relationships do you have with midwives, etc., because they already trust this midwife, and then they can then transition through. So that's why I'm inclined towards that. But that can apply for writing articles and things like that, because you are leveraging whatever trust that article or publication has. There's obviously all like the big birth podcasts and things. I just don't know. Obviously, like, you're still very targeted. Like, you can't, it's like, you can't be traveling 2 hours or 3 hours. So I would still focus the marketing efforts more locally. But there might be opportunities like that where some of those birth podcasts actually having you as a guest talk about the sort of experience of birth photography. I don't know whether that would fit or not. Because so a lot of the birth story podcasts, they're obviously about capturing birth stories. So you could get on and tell of your welcoming your children into the world with your wife, and also talking about the experience of birth photography as well. So I actually think maybe that could work, but it's less targeted. It's very like when you've got something that is hyper local, I don't know. I don't know that I'd do all that. It feels like a lot of effort to be
Yeah.
You're trying to get a hyper local lead. Your proof,
Yeah.
I think a long interview with us, because again, a lot of people will say, people aren't going to watch a 15-minute testimonial, etc. Maybe not for a $250 purchase, but I'm thinking about welcoming a man into my space to photograph my birth. They will watch a 20-minute video of someone talking about their experience. So, and then the other thing as well is definitely just making it known to your existing is something that you do offer. So that was actually one of my questions. What are you currently doing to stay in contact with existing clients?
Nothing other than post it on social media, I suppose.
Yeah, email list. Do you know what an
email
list is?
I do. I don't have an email list. I think 2 people have signed up to my email list on my website. One of them being my dad, I think.
Yeah. So I struggled to find the email list on your website. I'm like, does he have an email list?
Actually, it might not be on there anymore.
It might not be, because I was clicking through and I was like, I don't think he has an email list.
No, it's something that I think that used to be on an old edition of my site, but I don't think it's on the current one.
Yeah. So, so I would definitely have things. Social media is phenomenal at getting the attention of new people. That's why, and it's like you need to do that component to get the attention for new people, to get new people coming into your world. The email marketing is that retention. It's that keeping on engaging with the known customer base. And that is, again, like your stuff is so visual. It's awesome because it's like you automatically have content. I find it really difficult. I'm like, what angle am I going to take on this thing? Like when we're sending out our dental implant stuff, it's like I have to think of an angle where it's like you literally have something that is visual, and you can tell stories about it. Like you can tell the fun stories about the location, or you can tell more technical things if you really want to. There's a lot you could do with email marketing, and that trust and that rapport that then we were like, oh, okay, like I'd be interested in birth photography. And so just being able to let people know that it is something that you do. Do you follow up with past people, even informally? So you don't have an email list, but like, do you actively follow up with?
Not really, no. Other than a few people who I guess know more personally, I suppose. But say, hey, you've had another child, or hey, do you want to get another round of photos, kind of thing.
Yeah. So that we're going to add that to the to-do list. We're going to add that to our action steps. So you review all past clients because you've been in business for a year now. And particularly, like that was literally my reaction. When I found you, I was like, at this price point, I can get this done every single year without stressing about it. And so I like it talking to a friend who they're she was like, actually, I think I could get that done almost every year at that price point, which I thought was really interesting. And so it's very much something that people can buy every single year. So you want to review past clients and reach out to see if they want another family photo shoot. And you can do a really easy one. I think it's Dean Jackson. Maybe it's the whatever platform you normally communicate with them on. And you just he normally says, are you still looking at, but in their, like, if they're a past client, they're obviously not like still looking because you've worked
in
the past. But it'd be are you looking at getting family photos anytime soon? Now, obviously, you can you can add to it. You can put really, all of those things. You can be a lot more personalized with it if you would like to be, depending on it. Basically, depending on how many clients following up. This is something that you can do via emails. So if you've got an email list, you can send this sort of thing out, and you could even get rid of the family photos. It's like you offer all of these things. You can have an email list that's got all of these people. You can literally just blast out to everyone that's just, hey, Sally, are you soon? And that's it. No, interested or not. But that will be a big thing. I think at the price point that you offer it, there will be people who have previously had one another one. A big win. I actually had. Have you had any issues with people not paying because you invoice after? Because that was very bizarre to me. I was confused when you were going to invoice. I was like, I'm so confused.
So far not. No, and like for me, and the way I work and my workflow, I just like sending an invoice once the job is done. I've found in the past I've been paid before a job is completed, and then suddenly I'm not motivated to complete it. So yes, so far I haven't had any issues. Like, I mean, people pay late, but whatever, that's always going to happen. So far I've never had that someone hasn't paid. I'm sure it will happen at some point, but
Well, just flag that as if it becomes an issue, flag it as something to address. But if it's not an issue, that's totally fine. But yes, no, that's fine. If you're happy with it, no need to change it. But just definitely, it's definitely a. I know the other photographer wanted 50% before the photo shoot. And 50%. I don't remember when. Anyway, it's definitely something that would be like a very standard, expected thing if you do need to change that later.
Yeah, it's been on my mind to start maybe asking for a deposit or pay for a percentage of it up front, more so from like a cash flow perspective, so that I'm not always waiting for the big lump sum to come in. That's a bit more in drips and drabs kind of thing.
I think at particularly the $250 price point, like, it's not at all unreasonable to say it's a 50% deposit to lock in the date. I just don't. I don't think so. And I do think as well, even if you have that, that's your expected flow. And if someone's really like, I don't have the money up front, etc., whatever, you can have that discussion rather than finding out after you've done all the work that they actually don't know how they're going to pay you $200. Like, it'd be better. To have the discussion. Can do as well. If you've got someone who's really like, I can't pay you $125 now or whatever, you could actually say, okay, well, it could be $50 a week or a fortnight or whatever until you get to the 50, and then we do the photo shoot. So you can essentially like allow people to actually pay payment plans, because they're particularly where you're trying to make it accessible to people. There are a lot of
Yeah.
people where they're living that paycheck to paycheck, they are struggling, and they might struggle with the 250, but if you break it down to it's $50 here and here. But yeah, I'm wary of you being on the hook for like, so yeah, that's all. But I would definitely look at, even if you know, look, by the time I'm fully paid, it's less motivation, whatever, that's fine for your round out, get the job done before you fully bill. But I would definitely look at that 50% deposit, what the other photographers were doing. And she was very new. I'm fairly certain it was like invoice 3 or something. Like she was just starting out, very much like this is the expectation.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Perfect. Well, I hope that's been helpful. Is there anything else? Are you happy with the things?
Sorry, I missed that. You dropped out again.
Yeah. So the birth side of things, are you happy with?
Yes. Yeah. I think reaching out to home birth midwives and Castlemaine Hospital is a good one. That's where we gave birth to our second child. So they're phenomenal hospitals. So yeah, I think that's some really good points on an area that I was pretty in the dark for, of how do we even begin to get more work in that sense, because I do understand that I'm in a lot of ways make it because I am a man, that's a whole nother hurdle that I need to overcome in terms of people being comfortable with getting birth photography done. So I think that's a really good avenue to go down by finding other trusted professionals who then can recommend me, kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. And I think even with that, actually, one thing we had discussed, I felt comfortable with it because we'd done that maternity shoot as well. So I think actively promoting maternity photo shoots could help, because you literally know they're going to be giving birth. But also just making it known for the birth photography stuff, where you're actively promoting birth photography, letting them know I do mini shoots. It's $250. It's a great way to get maternity memories anyway, and then that can help you get a sense of if you like working with me and you're comfortable with the
I was thinking I was thinking with the kind of the whole birth photography package, to a little bit like with my weddings, one of the things I do with all my packages is I include a little half-hour engagement shoot, or I call it an icebreaker shoot, so that it's a good time for me to meet with a couple and talk about wedding timelines and stuff. But also we do a little bit of a shoot so they can get a bit of an understanding of how I shoot before their wedding day. So I was kind of thinking along the same lines for the birth photography, to go, look, if birth photography is something you're interested in, then let's book in a half-hour maternity shoot or whatever, and that will give you, I don't know, a discount on the actual birth photography or something like that. If you want to upgrade, kind of thing. So that then people do get an understanding of, okay, we're not. They can take a small step towards it by going, okay, let's have him come and take maternity photos, and then if we're comfortable with that, then we'll go the next step and do the birth photography.
I think that would be perfect. Yes, because that was what helped me. There is no world in which I would have just jumped straight to the birth photography. It's just like
no, and totally fair enough. Like birth photography as itself is quite a like, oh, is that really something I want? And then to have someone you've potentially never met, and particularly a man, I can totally see where people are like, what? Why is he even interested in that?
No, it was good. All right, awesome, cool. Well, this has been fun.
It has been fun. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. And yes, I would love to hear how it all goes, and keep us updated. We would
I
love
will.
to
I
get
certainly
the
will.
feedback on how it all goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Awesome. Well,
sounds like I need
sign
to
off.
book in an interview.
Yeah. Just interested in being a guest like Tis. We're hoping to do more of this. I love doing this. This is what I love, pulling apart just sort of where people are at with their business, their marketing, and coming up with strategies for how to help them grow and the action steps that they can take. So if you're interested, you can DM me on Instagram, Sophia. And yeah, we can go from there. But yes, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to everyone who has watched, and we will end the stream now. Thanks, Tis.
Bye. No worries. Thank you.